Hi everyone, welcome to Water Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie, and this is a Tier 6 light tank, the American T37, one of the most favourite and most overly used tanks in skirmishes, Tier 6 strongholds, and general good times at Tier 6. Now he's in a pretty good matchup, Thadeous from MI6. He's on the Siegfried line. And there's only 3 Tier 7s. Apart from those 3 Tier 7s, Thadeous is top tier in his little T37, the American light tank. Now Thadeous, I'm pretty sure he's played a fair few games in this tank. It's one of his favourite tanks, and he's going wide out onto the field on Siegfried line, trying to get a few early spots for his team. But because of where he spawned right over here on the mini-map. He's taken a little bit of time to get out of the field, and the E25 and the Cromwell have taken the field by storm. And have a look, it looks like the enemy side have absolutely given up on the field. The E25 is down to the H line, now the J line, along with the Cromwell. And Thadeous is going to head down with them to join them and support them in their push through the field, hopefully get some spots, maybe on the enemy artilleries and any campers that might be back at the base. Now you can see that AMX ELC, and he's thinking there's a bit of early damage there, but he gets taken out by the Cromwell. He took a pretty big hit early on, maybe from the M4 or the PZ T25, or maybe even the VK30A1. All got pretty big derpy guns, and they're all going to do lots of damage to a little Tier 5 French light tank. Thadeous searching for a few snipey shots into the Chi-Ri or even the T34, but now we can see the KV2. The KV2's fired. Thaddeus not lucky with his early sniping shots yet, but he's going to come into the game pretty soon. Looking at some early, looking for a little bit of early cheap damage. The Cromwell, as well as the M4, were lighting up all those enemy tanks, and that's all of them have actually been lit, apart from the Bishop. Even the big Su-14 Russian artillery's been lit up. 76, the E25 takes out the T34-85, a very handy tank at Tier 6, the Russian medium tank. Now Thad's looking for some shots. He has been spotted. He wants to use his rate of fire on that T34, get the damage in. He cops a shot. Unlucky not to get the kill shot on that T34. But did take a damaging shot for him, so he's playing a bit of a snipey game at the moment. Most of the enemy side are lit, or the ones that aren't lit are they have been lit, so we know where they are. It's a shot into the Artie. Gets spotted again. I'm not sure who's spotting him. Maybe the Jackson. I wouldn't think a tank destroyer would have that much of a good view range, but I reckon it might be. Now they're down by a tank, and the city is looking like it's in a little bit of trouble. So Thadeous is moving forward to spot for that E75 who's sniping away, as well as that Panzer 4H at Tier 5. Jackson gets lit, but he knows that at that distance he's going to be lit in his little T37 as well. Thadeous has only picked up 331 damage at the moment, but he is doing a more important job than that at the moment. He's trying to get some tanks lit. They're down by 2. He knows he's been spotted, so he takes a bit of cover around this pillbox, and you can see that Jackson is still aiming at him, so he really wants to be careful not to run out into his line of fire as the team just starts crumbling. They were up by a little bit, then they were down by a bit. Now they're down by 2 tanks. It's 6 versus 8 at the moment. Someone takes a blind shot, probably the Jackson, and the enemy tanks have absolutely taken over the city. Thadeous finds the Jackson. They're both on a similar amount of hit points, but we all know the Jackson's going to have a much stronger gun than the T37. He's lucky enough that his tracks, the tracks took the fire of the first one, and now he's trying to get ahead of the gun, but it looks like the gun's just about keeping up with him. It looks like he bounced a shot. Not sure if that was from the Jackson or from the Bishop. Bishop has fired. Probably the only tank that the Bishop can see would be Thadeous at the moment. He's running around trying to keep moving. Is he going to get hit by the Bishop? Gets a shot into him. Bishop shoots and misses, and now Thadeous just takes his time and gets rid of the self-propelled gun for his second kill. Now attention needs to be put onto the base because there's two sitting on their cap, two sitting on Thadeous's cap. I doubt it's those big lumbering heavy tanks. It's possibly the Type T34, the Tier 5 Chinese tank. And who else? There's going to be two of them there. Unfortunate to miss that shot on the T34. Yeah. Good shot by artillery into the KV2, and Thadeous finishes him off, stopping the cap. But more importantly than stopping the cap, he's also brought the scores back to even, 11 apiece. So it's 4 versus 4. KV3 and a KV85 for heavy tanks and artillery, and the M4A3E2 Tier 6 American medium tank. Now the little M5A1 Stewart's putting a bit of cap pressure on the enemy side, which is probably not a bad idea considering how slow most of the enemy tanks are. By doing that, that's probably going to stop the enemy's advance towards Thadeous's flag. Artillery having a great game, gets rid of that M4A3E2, and that pretty much takes most of the vision out of the game. Now Thadeous is in the tank with the most vision. Those two big lumbering Russian tanks aren't going to have the view range that the T37 is going to have. Now the KV3 is still lit, possibly now by the Panzer IV. Sounds like Artie just fired, but it wasn't that one. Awesome shot into the top of the SU-141, the Tier 7 big lumbering slow Russian artillery. The KV3 looks like he's playing around with that Panzer IV-H. Panzer IV-H asking for help, but Thadeous needs to help this light tank which is on the base. The KV-85 will be focused on the cap. There's only 14 seconds to go. That's going down by the minute. Now even though Thadeous has been spotted, KV-85 has just fired, and the rate of fire on the T-37 takes him out of the game, confirming the top gun. And bringing his game up to a massive 1,738 hit points of damage with a WN8 of 5540. Now it sounds like Artie just fired again, or it could have been a bit of a derp gun on one of these tanks. Now Thad's only got 194 hit points left, so he needs to utilise his mobility and try and add view range his KV3, which at Tier 7 might be a bit of a tough thing to hit. So he's moving back around to get a different angle on the KV3. Plenty of time left. There's nearly 6 minutes left in this game. There's only one tank left to kill. It looks like the Panzer IV-H is heading straight for where the KV3 was last spotted. So Thad's just taking his time here, relocating using the speed of the T37. To try and attack this KV3 from a different angle. KV3 gets spotted by the Panzer IV-H, And the Panzer IV-H is caught totally out of position. He's only a Tier 5 up against a Tier 7 Russian heavy tank. So Thadeous is going to go around this pillbox and try and outflank KV-13. Looks like a KV-3, I mean. KV-3 looks like he's just fired. Artie's fired as well and just missed. Now he's auto locked on to the KV-3. Probably thinking that the KV-3 is going to be focusing on that Panzer IV-H. He's going to be focusing on what he sees to be the easy kill. Puts a shot into him. Puts another shot into him. Needs to back off. No! Really needed to back right off. Now that Panzer IV-H just put 17 hit points of damage into the KV-3. Now at Tier 5 nothing does 17 hit points of damage other than high explosives. That tells me that this Panzer IV-H driver is firing high explosive ammunition. KV-3 puts another big derp of a shot into the KV-3. You can see Artie's aiming up. Thad's jumping between all the different tank views in the replay thinking, I want to win this game. I've had a ripper of a game, nearly 2,000 damage. But no. Panzer IV-H seems to think HE all the way. And bugger is right, Thadeous. Now, it's a bit of a delay here, so I'm just going to speed the replay up a bit. The KV-3 seems to think it's all over. GG into the chat. Panther says, okay. I'll fast forward a little bit more. The GW Panther has moved into a position. You can see him on the mini-map. Haven't seen the KV-3 for some time. I have fast forwarded it by about 40 seconds, or skipped forward by about 40 seconds. Sooner or later, I'll do it again. The clock counts down to 1 minute 51, and there they are. They've spotted each other. KV-3 shoots and misses. You can see he's got a big reload, and well done to RUTO 1230. Not a bad shot at all. As you look at the post-game battle results for Thadeous, of course he picked up the top gun because he got 6 kills. First class mastery badge. Wasn't an ace tanker, but I don't reckon it would have been too far off. Got the bruiser and 5 for effects medal. Look at all those tanks that he spotted, killed or damaged. Over half the enemy side. At the second page of the post-game battle results, 1969 base experience damage. A little bit more damage than the top tier E25, who was having a ripper of a game, but I don't know how he died, but he died relatively early compared to Thadeous. Anyway, 1153 base experience. You can see he fired 30 shots and 21 of them did damage, which wasn't a bad result at all. End of the day, 27, nearly 28,000 credits, bottom line profit, which isn't bad for a non-premium tank, and of course it's in a premium account. An awesome game there by Thadeous. It is quick, nimble little Tier 6 American light tank, the T37. Thanks for watching everyone, take care, and I'll see you all next time.